Boom! What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larson. Welcome back to the Your Final Offer Summit, where I'm asking marketing experts what their final offer would be if for some reason they were unable to work in the very near future. And today I have a special guest on with me today. It's Blake Nubar. And Blake, just in 2 years, helped thousands of entrepreneurs get their products and services out to the world using sales funnels. He's generated over $10 million in sales. Blake is one of the most sought-out funnel experts in the world. Some of his clients include Shark Tank investors, Bravo TV stars, and high-level digital marketers. Welcome to the summit, Mr. Blake Nubar.
What's up, Steve, man? Thanks for having me, man. I'm pumped to be here.
This will be awesome, and thanks for taking the time again and jumping on.
Of course.
So just in case someone doesn't actually know what you do, could you just let everyone know what you spend your time doing and help people?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, if people want to make money online, if they want to get their message out to the world, their products and services, they come to me and I help build the campaign around that, basically using sales funnels. So that it's really simple. It's what I do, and I help a lot of people do it.
That's awesome. And then as far as the topic of this whole summit, right, being you get sick, 90 days, or just somewhere in the near future, what would be the final offer that you would go and survive off of?
Sure. Yeah. So awesome question, man. Really amazing question. Put me in a box to really think about this. And there's two things I think about, right? The first one is I look for something I think is here to stay. And Russell is kind of brought funnels mainstream, at least, and it's starting to grow. And I think in the next few years, if you don't have a funnel, you're going to get left behind. So I'm putting all my eggs in the basket that funnels will always be around. Number two is I always look for an upslope in a market, right? I look for what's going to always come and start building upon it. And I always look at that as the biz op, brand new people coming in trying to make money online. And that's kind of how I formed this offer. So what I would offer if it was the last thing I could bring to the world would be an off-the-shelf sales funnel program where everything's basically done for you, where you can start or grow your business online.
Now, what do you mean by that? So off the shelf, they're going to go in and so everything's done for you. You're obviously not the one doing it all. So what would be included in this, and how do you set it up?
Yeah, so I look at it like Legos, right? You can go buy a starship and a Lego set, and you can have all the pieces laying on the floor, and you can try and build it together. This would be instead of doing that, you can walk into a toy store and grab it right off the shelf for a local business, for a business consultant, for an info product. I mean, all different types of programs, all geared with one goal in common, which is make someone success from nothing to launching that actual program. So inside of this offer itself, I would give you the masterclass, right? I'd show you how to select a market, build out an offer. I would show you how to craft a story. I would give you the done for you funnel, right? Because everyone needs the funnel aspect to it. It would come with all the copy, the email sequences, the chat bot. I'd show you how to set up the entire funnel. And then I would give you launch and evergreen traffic strategies to make sure that you had constant people and customers coming inside of it.
So it'll be largely like an info product, or would there be a coaching aspect with it? And I mean, you're sick in bed and twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah, so the idea would be to launch it as a coaching aspect, right? I would be involved initially, right? And I know I have to pull myself out of it, so that's going to be part of the launch strategy. But yeah, it would be a coaching program to start, eventually turned info product and following that info product model.
Mm. So how do you, what would be, the info product itself, you're going to walk through all the basics of actually getting a funnel off the ground, like you said, selecting a market, here's how to tell your story, the copy, setting it up. Is the idea that you would go and do it all the first time yourself, capture it, and that becomes the info product?
Exactly right. Yeah. So I would do it with a select group of individuals and kind of work out the kinks, right? There's going to be a lot of things I'm going to be unaware of. So I would do it with a select group of people, work out the kinks, record everything, get everything captured. And then eventually, to remove myself from the equation, we would go and refine all of those coaching calls and things and turn into an online program.
That makes sense. And then, so plus coaching. So how do you handle the coaching? How do you find the coaches on an ongoing basis?
So we would find an expert for each type of funnel category, right? Because cool. I have to come out of it. So e-commerce, there's 22, 25 now funnel categories. I mean, it's however many you want there to be. And we would just basically find one of the best for each category to kind of be the support system for that specific program.
That makes sense. And how do you get them to agree to do this?
So you get them to agree by you let them, if I'm generating the traffic, right? If I'm paying paid media, affiliates, things like that, and I'm bringing people in to generate the traffic, they would agree in terms of like, the initial thought was do like a split, right? Pay them, just have them coach, which is still an option. But I think I would switch that around and have them coach for free, but in return, they get to use my distribution. So it's almost like a channel partnership. They provide their services to my market, but as a result, they can start siphoning off my market itself to start selling them their programs, products, services, things like that.
Interesting. So you give a little, give some kind of like some kind of guideline or template, so it's not just like a free for all on your list, obviously. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the idea is to like, I want to make an offer to the coaches ultimately, and that offer is I'll provide you the traffic that you need for your programs, but in return, I'm gonna want this out of it.
That's fascinating. So they can sell their products.
Correct.
Now, would you be like an affiliate of theirs as well for another extra?
Yeah. So
revenue?
yeah, as a result, because I'm bringing the traffic, which is I think the main thing people struggle with. I would take a cut of everything they sell. And it wouldn't be structured where they're just jamming product down their throat inside of my program.
Right.
It would be more of like, it's one of those things where it's like, if people are interested and they're like, hey man, like I saw that John is really good at copy. Does he have courses? I would be like, yeah, he actually does have a course. And John's allowed to go take those clients into his programs.
That's powerful with your affiliate, and you get the commissions from that.
Yes.
So like, what would, who'd you want to sell this to?
So initially, I'm going to start with low-hanging fruit, right? I mean, ClickFunnels has done some fascinating things recently to prove that I think they're going to be around for a very long time. And plus, Russell's amazing, and he's going to do some awesome stuff. But I would start with low-hanging fruit. I'd probably start with my list and a Facebook group, like anything, any hot or warm traffic to really prove the concept out right away. And then obviously, once that's saturated and I'm kind of running out of this customer collection phase, I need to start creating customers. It would be geared towards the biz op, people trying to generate money or trying to generate some type of wealth or sell their product or service or someone else's product or service online for the very first time. This program will be a perfect, like a perfect turnkey solution for them to start out on.
Fascinating. And so you're going to target like low hanging fruit, obviously, especially the first time through when you're going to be creating it, putting it all together. It's going to be your own list. Then you get Facebook ads, and then you're targeting the ClickFunnels community, like those who are actually wanting it.
New and existing customers inside of that ClickFunnels ecosystem, just because it makes sense, right? Like Russell's doing all the salesman. He's like he's like the world's greatest sales rep right now, bringing people into this ecosystem. And then I would capitalize by bringing those people into my ecosystem. So that would be the idea around it.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. I'm taking tons of notes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And what would you do to kind of make this sell after the 90 days? I mean, you have the ads, obviously, the experts, they're going to be selling. Are the experts also going to be selling the program too? Or
I probably wouldn't have them sell. If I was launching this thing, the first thing I would do, just to kind of break it down in more of a step-by-step process, the first thing I would do is I would create, it would be a webinar, right? So I want to test this idea. I need to create this message and find this unique entry wedge and angle that I can fit into the ecosystem, right? So the first thing is just testing an idea. I would then probably market that to my Facebook group, right? And at the same time of creating that message, I'm going to start building the hype, start building the pressure up so that when I do launch into the Facebook group, that there's probably a good amount of interest already to get people in the program. Once I get those people actually into the program itself, that's when I'm going to build everything out. Coaching program, I'm involved, coaches are involved. And then the way to like kind of evergreen that, I'm going to remove myself, turn it into courses, turn it into an actual online program by itself. Coaches stay, and then flip on ads and affiliates.
That's awesome. And what about, so the way you launch it, how would you launch it to your existing list? Just kind of like a sideways, like just a webinar itself? Just so basically like what is the normal webinar, I guess?
Yeah. I would do a webinar. I was like going back and forth. I'm like, should I do like a 5-minute webinar? Like I know Russell, he has an awesome webinar and Lady Boss, she did a cool one too where they condensed it on Facebook, but I like steered away from it. I'm like, let me just go like the traditional webinar. So I'd probably launch a webinar to my list, get from that strategy of launching to my list, letting them know, hey, building hype. I'd invite them to the Facebook group to also grow the Facebook group because that's where I would deliver the presentation. And then once all that stuff's done, like the last piece I would do with like the last 10 days of my 90 days would be to actually create the funnel.
Yeah. Okay, that's crazy. You put the funnel together. because you're going to do the training the first time. So it's obviously going to be like a live webinar. Then you go to auto webinar. Then it's auto webinar plus auto fulfillment. Is there any
Yes.
physical product with this, or is it going to be straight digital with coaching?
All digital, because if the idea is kind of like I'm sick and I'm dying and I can't do anything, I want to limit like logistic models and any type of overhead like that as much as possible. Probably I want to stick strictly info product as much as possible.
Right. And that, yeah, totally get that. Okay. And then this kind of like the final big question is, how would you structure all of this to keep you super low management? You know, like, is there certain team members, you'd need? Is there, what does that look like?
So the main thing you need in the info product is a support desk. I need to set up a support desk and put someone in charge of that. That's one role. The second role would be I need to hire a full-time affiliate manager, because they would be managing the evergreen campaigns, affiliates, JV partnerships, Dream 100, all that good stuff, right? They're just going to be bringing in that organic traffic.
Right.
And then I'd hire one full-time traffic specialist, because I wouldn't want to outsource, because just in case that I hate giving up control. And if I have to outsource that and their business like fails or something, that would be a big component of all this. So I would make sure I brought that traffic specialist in-house just to keep running the ads. And then to kind of orchestrate all of that, I'd probably have one project manager overseeing all of them that reports directly to me when I'm like on my deathbed.
It's kind of like an operator person.
Yeah, like boots on the ground.
Operator, boots on the ground. It's cool because you have a role that is fulfillment and support. You have another role that is obviously boots on the ground, kind of doing all this stuff. And then the other two are very highly generating roles, affiliate manager and full-time traffic
Right.
getter.
Yep. Yeah, both evergreen, just to keep that. Because if the launch is done, I'll just keep those evergreen going as far as possible in the foreseeable future.
Is there any kind of metric you would look at to say, man, I know everything's on the right track. I can keep being sick in my bed?
Yeah, I'd probably look at like a lot of it would be down to like customer acquisition costs would be big with webinar registrants. How much are we paying per lead, and what's that turning into on the back end of the webinar? Average order value, it's really important, but it's probably gonna be pretty close because it's just a one-time product around $14.97.
Right.
So it wouldn't be so much of that. Yeah, it would just be more return on ad spend. How much are we paying and how much are we getting back?
What's interesting is it feels like $14.97. I'm sorry, yeah. $14.97 feels like the new $9.97, honestly.
Yeah. I'd have people on my webinars before that be like, let me guess, $9.97 at the end, and I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah, I've actually had that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, this has been really powerful, and thank you so much. So you're going to go through, and I'll just recap. Because of the powerhouse, which I think is really smart, the powerhouse that ClickFunnels market has become, Russell's, largely being a magnet for all these people. You're going to start by launching, though, to your own list, and then grow out of that list by targeting the ClickFunnels community, showing that, because, it's what you do. You're an expert at it. And then you can go in and teach people like, look, you want some more hand-holding? Here you go. I got it. Go a little more biz-oppy if you need to. Specifically with Facebook ads on an ongoing base, you'll run to a webinar, which is then an auto webinar. And I love the agreement you have with the coaches and the experts. The experts come on in. You're teaching. How many topics was it again?
We'd launch with probably 10 of the biggest topics out there. And then I'd probably have strategies in place to keep churning out new programs, because the program itself will stay the same. But the types of funnels we throw you into, the different tracks you go on, that is going to be evergreen. I would hope to keep producing those.
That makes sense. Okay. So an expert, and we sell. Okay. I totally get it.
10 programs, 10 experts. And the experts' incentive is that you're going to get basically evergreen traffic to your offers if you can capitalize on it. Because you're a coach now. You're going to get branding as well. Yeah.
Which is a big, it's funny. I've had people say like, is that a big enough thing? It's a huge enough thing. Like just for the exposure alone, I've done a lot of things for free.
Yeah. Oh, it's so worth it.
Yeah, a ton. Totally is. Well, honestly, man, thank you so much. Where can people find you, follow you, learn more from you?
Yeah, you can just go to blakenubar.com. I just got my hero funnels up there, or Funnel Formula. That's the product, www.funnelformula.com, and connect with me on Facebook.
Sweet, brother. Hey, really appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Steve.